The year I was completely broke, I sold myself to a top-tier alpha. Since then, I've been by his side, living the good life. Everyone said the young master kept a beta who was madly in love with him. A crazy little mutt who'd bite anyone that got too close. When Brooks heard that, he'd lift my chin with his polished shoe and tease me. "Good boy," he'd say, "do you like me?" And every time, I'd blush and nod. "Yes, I love you so much." Yeah, that was total nonsense. While he went to the airport to pick up his first love returning from abroad, I packed up and ran away in the middle of the night. Rubbing my sore waist, I sighed. Finally, the endless playtime days were over. Betas really shouldn't get involved with alphas. But a few days later, he had me pinned to the bed again, his hot breath brushing my skin. "Naughty baby," he whispered, always trying to run away. "If you don't want to be my wife, then whose wife do you want to be? You're not getting out of this bed. Not until you're pregnant with my child." "Excuse me? I'm a male beta. How the hell am I supposed to get pregnant?" I was taking a nap when Brooks's secretary called, waking me up. "Weston. The old man's trying to set your boss up with another sweet little Omega. You better hurry and stop it before your boss's purity is ruined." Sleep vanished instantly. I jumped up. Brooks was my sugar daddy, after all. He paid me 1,000,000 star coins a month. My job was to play his devoted lover and keep all those flirty Omegas away from him. But after what he'd done to me last night, my legs were still shaking so badly I almost fell when I got out of bed. Cursing under my breath, I rushed to his office. The moment I opened the door, I saw a gorgeous Omega crying dramatically while 2 bodyguards held him down. "Brooks, you're an alpha," he sobbed. "How can you stoop so low to be with a beta? Alpha Omega love is the only proper kind." Brooks sat behind his desk in a black suit, his sharp features calm and cold. He didn't even glance up from his paperwork. The Omega noticed me too, and instantly realized who I was. The beta he kept. "You're that," he started. I didn't let him finish. I strutted over, sat right on Brooks's lap, wrapped my arms around his neck and cooed, "Baby, I missed you so much. Did you miss me too?" Brooks instinctively steadied me with a hand on my waist. I leaned in, kissed him on the lips like a little tease, then turned proudly to the Omega. "See? He's mine." "You're an Omega, you're not planning to be the homewrecker here, are you?" In modern society, betas are usually seen as the reliable, calm type. So when the pretty Omega saw a beta like me acting this flirty, he froze for a second, then huffed, "I would never be a homewrecker," and stormed out. The office fell silent. I rubbed my sore back. "Brooks, when's your dad gonna give up on setting you up with Omegas? Next time you call me to play your flower shield, I'm charging extra." Brooks loosened his tie and looked up, his sharp phoenix eyes glinting with a cool light. "Weston, maybe you're just not working hard enough. If you clung to me more, acted like you're madly in love, made it clear I can't live without you, what Omega would dare try to steal me? Damn it. Classic rich guy manipulation. I just mentioned a raise, and he turned it into a performance review. You want efficiency?" I muttered. I slid off his lap, walked to the door, then suddenly started pounding on it, shouting dramatically, "Please, master, stop hitting me. It hurts so much. Don't use the whip. Don't hit me with the stick. I was wrong, I'll never let another Omega near you again." Brooks's face went black. His voice came out through clenched teeth. "Weston, shut up." By noon, the damage was done. Rumors that Brooks abused his kept lover in the office spread across every elite circle in the city. In just a few hours, he went from a noble, respected CEO to a perverted rich man with a violent streak. That night, we went out for dinner together, And I could literally hear people at the next table whispering. Did you hear? The young master's into weird stuff. He loves torturing people, uses whips and sticks on his lover every day. No way. I thought he was such a gentleman alpha. Poor beta, no wonder he never dates omegas. What omega could handle that kind of kink? Seriously? Could you people gossip any louder? We're sitting right here. Brooks's beautiful dark eyes stayed calm. His face unreadable as ever. He even picked out a piece of fish for me. My favorite. But behind that calm, I could sense the storm brewing. I'd seen that expression before, 3 years ago. Right after I started living with him. Back then, I was still a street punk. Smoking, drinking, fighting, mouthing off. One night, I got arrested after a bar fight. Brooks bailed me out, looking just as calm as he did now. I thought he wasn't mad. Turns out, once my wounds healed, he kept me in bed for an entire month. He even forced me to quit smoking and drinking. Just remembering that dark, exhausting period made me shiver. I forced a flattering smile. Baby, I'll go clear things up, okay? I'll tell everyone I'm the one with weird tastes. And you're actually the sweetest alpha ever. It's for your own good, really. Now no omega will dare come near you after this rumor. Brooks wrapped an arm around my waist, pulling me closer. My chest pressed against his solid muscles. His mint cologne surrounding me. He wiped a bit of sauce from the corner of my mouth. Then gave a low chuckle. No need. If you open your mouth, my reputation might really hit rock bottom. He leaned closer, voice dropping into a teasing drawl. By the way, that little show you put on at noon. You seemed really into it. Maybe you actually want me to treat you that way tonight? The way he emphasized the last words. Yeah, that wiped the smile right off my face. All that amusement. It had officially shifted to his side. Thanks to my big mouth earlier that day, I ended up being completely worn out by Brooks that night. The next morning, we went to a friend's barbecue party. I was pale, walking unsteadily, feeling like a man whose soul had been drained. Everyone there was one of Brooks's friends, and they all knew me. Hey, sister-in-law, they greeted with teasing smiles. Their eyes darted to where Brooks's hand rested firmly on my waist. Someone whispered, half laughing. Who would have thought Mr. Serious Brooks was that wild in bed? He's even into roleplay. Look at his eyes, he can't stop staring at him. When have you ever seen Brooks look at anyone like that before? I turned to look at Brooks. He was calmly massaging my sore waist with one hand. And flipping slices of pork belly on the grill with the other. He brushed on the sauce, cooked it perfectly, wrapped it in lettuce. And handed it to me like it was the most natural thing in the world. It was so good I almost cried. How did a highborn young master like him get this good at cooking? After 3 years by his side, unless he was away for work. He always cooked for us himself. I used to joke that he was fattening me up like a pig for slaughter. I took a big bite, too big. The meat was scorching hot, and I burned my tongue. Brooks sighed, handed me a cup of water, his voice low and warm. Weston, no one's fighting you for it. Eat slowly. Okay, I mumbled with my mouth full. After that, he started grilling slower. Only handing me food once it cooled down. Honestly, my life goal had always been simple: eat well, stay full, stay happy. And for a while, I really was happy. Until I came back from the bathroom and ran straight into Gray. He looked me up and down, eyes full of disdain. So, he's still keeping you around, huh? I heard you've been used up already. Brooks has a twisted side, right? Loves to rough you up. I'm just waiting for him to get tired of you. When he dumps you, you'll see how I'll make you pay. Gray was the spoiled young heir of a jewelry company. A mediocre alpha who looked down on both betas and omegas. The first time I met him was at one of those elite banquets. I had just started following Brooks around back then. Gray had walked up, smirking. I've never seen you in our circle before. You're good looking. But why can't I smell any pheromones from you? You're a beta, right? What are you doing here, hunting for rich alphas? Or have they already played you to death? I grew up rough on the streets. If I hadn't learned to fight early, I'd have been eaten alive a long time ago. And back then, I had just left the gang life. Brooks was trying to train my bad habits. And I was in no mood for nonsense. So when Gray ran his mouth at me, I slapped him, hard. He spun in place a few times before hitting the floor. A beta beating an alpha half to death, now that was a headline. He tried to complain to Brooks afterward. But Brooks had only said, completely calm, "I know my Weston. He's the sweetest person I've ever met. If he hit you, you must have deserved it." Gray didn't dare argue after that. Every time we met, he'd only mutter something bitter under his breath. Honestly, it was hilarious. I was Brooks's kept lover, after all. So now I raised my voice on purpose. "Brooks! Someone's bullying your sweetheart again." Brooks heard me and put down the fish he was grilling, striding toward me in a few long steps. Gray panicked, pushed me when I wasn't looking. And the world suddenly spun. Before I could fall down the slope, Brooks caught me tightly in his arms. I could hear his heart pounding fast against my ear. His voice was cold but full of worry. "Weston, are you okay? If he was bothering you, why didn't you come to me first? You should have let me handle it." I scratched my head, embarrassed. Didn't expect Gray to pull a cheap move like that. Brooks's gaze shifted to Gray, icy and dangerous. "I'll be informing your father about what you did today. Now apologize to Weston." When Brooks got angry, he didn't shout. He punished me in quieter ways. Like now, he'd stopped cooking the food I liked. For an entire week, he only made vegetables. I was turning green myself from all the broccoli and boiled cabbage. This morning's breakfast. Broccoli again. Not a trace of meat in sight. I just stared at the table, completely losing my appetite. If this kept up, I'd lose all the weight he'd spent years putting on me. I texted my best friend, another kept lover like me. "Hey, I made my sponsor mad. How do I make up for it?" He replied in seconds. "Brooks? He seems like the patient type. You've been bossing him around for years and he's never yelled once. What did you do to tick him off?" Then he added, "When my alpha got mad last week, I went to his office to apologize. These guys are easy to please, say a few sweet things. Act clingy, they melt right away. So I decided to try it. I bought Brooks his favorite milk tea and headed straight to his company. But something felt off the moment I arrived. While the secretary escorted me upstairs, I overheard some employees whispering. They say the boss's first love is coming back. What's gonna happen to Weston then? I actually like that guy. Yeah, if I were rich, I'd keep someone like him too. Beta or not, he's gorgeous. Brooks's first love? Wait, what? I'd been with him 3 years and had never heard about this. And suddenly everything made sense. No wonder he'd been feeding me nothing but greens. He was dropping hints that I should step aside for his beloved. I almost turned around right then to go home and pack up. To be fair, Brooks had always been generous. 3 years by his side, 1 million star coins a month. Plus all the gifts and luxury items he'd given me. I could retire 10 times over. But before I could leave, the elevator doors opened. And there he was, Brooks, stepping out of his office. His dark eyes lit up in surprise when he saw me. "Weston? What are you doing here? It's rare for you to come see me. Is something wrong?" I handed him the milk tea, smiling carelessly. "Missed you, that's all. Came to cheer you up, big boss." He took the drink, and that usually stern face softened. I didn't notice him typing a message on his phone. "You were right. Ignoring him for a week worked. He came to see me first. Got any more tips to make Weston fall for me faster? I really started preparing to run away this time. I had no idea what was going through Brooks's mind, but the past few days, he had been more intense than ever in bed, trying every kind of play imaginable. When I woke up in the morning and saw the red marks on my wrists and ankles, I was so angry I wanted to pound the bed. Chains on me? Big deal. Let's see you try to get me to chain you up. But the moment I moved, I pulled a muscle in my leg, and the pain made my face twist. I cursed him silently. Every day he used his alpha power to bully me, thinking he could get away with it. Someday, he'd get old, his stomach would weaken, his partner would abandon him, and he'd be stuck in a nursing home, getting smacked around by the caregivers every day. Then I remembered, Brooks's first love probably came back recently. Back when I was in the lower district, I'd seen plenty of wealthy alphas tormenting their canaries to get their money's worth before leaving. Brooks seemed generous, but he was still a capitalist. No wonder he'd been playing these games with me non-stop. Sure enough, I opened my phone and saw a message from Gray, gloating. See? Brooks went to the airport to pick up his first love. Once that gorgeous Omega is back, we'll see if he abandons you. Better beg me now. When I send someone to mess you up, I might go easy. He even sent me a photo. Brooks's usually stoic face was smiling gently at a tiny Omega. Alpha handsome, Omega beautiful, it looked like a perfect match. Damn it. He personally went to the airport for his first love and didn't tell me a word. Was this Alpha seriously trying to make me the other man? My mother had been the other woman, and she died a miserable death. When I first started following Brooks, I promised him, if he ever wanted to get married, he'd tell me directly, and I'd leave immediately. Thankfully, as soon as I heard about the first love, I started packing. It didn't take long to get everything ready. I grabbed my suitcase and walked out of the villa I'd lived in for 3 years. Before throwing away my SIM card, I texted Brooks. Brooks, has anyone told you your skills in bed really suck? I've been faking it the whole time, and it's killing me. I can't pretend anymore. Bye, never seeing you again. That night, I was too hungry to sleep. Brooks had spoiled my stomach so badly that all restaurant food now tasted awful. Ingredients weren't fresh enough, the salt and chili were all wrong. I checked a food delivery app, nothing looked appetizing. I sighed and opened my secret WeChat account. I'd added Brooks secretly before, and now his food posts flooded my feed. I didn't know what got into him, he never posted anything normally, but now he was posting 10 or more pictures a day, all of the food he'd made himself. They looked perfect, making my mouth water. Today was no exception. He posted a grid of dishes with the caption, "Oh no, I cooked too much. Can't eat it all, wish someone could help me out." The more I looked, the hungrier I got. So I drank a huge cup of water and turned over to sleep. I spent 3 days lying around the temporary apartment, feeling like I was going moldy. Anyway, I was outside now, my old SIM was gone, and Brooks was probably busy with his first love. No messages from him about punishing me. My courage grew. That night, I even went to a bar to drink. By the time Brooks showed up, an alpha was hitting on me. "I've been watching you for a while, why are you drinking alone? Feeling down? I could keep you company." I'd had a lot to drink, my vision blurry, but my mind was still somewhat clear. When the alpha tried to touch me, I grabbed a bottle, ready to smash it over his head. Suddenly, his hand was grabbed by a long, strong hand. Brooks's grip was so powerful that the alpha kept screaming. I looked up and met Brooks's dark, steady gaze. His usually perfect face was a little worn, dark circles under his eyes making him look rare and slightly exhausted. Seeing me, he slowly smiled, his shadowed eyes locking onto mine. "Long time no see, baby." The alpha who had tried to grope me got dragged away by Brooks's bodyguard. Brooks's eyes stayed on me. I shivered and instinctively tried to hide my drink. Brooks had put so much effort into weaning me off alcohol and cigarettes that, for a long time, I'd been scared of both. After kicking the bottle under the sofa, I finally met Brooks's half-smile and realized, wait, I'd broken up with him, why was I still scared? I bent over, trying to reach the bottle at the back of the sofa. Halfway there, someone pressed against my butt. Brooks's voice was low, husky, full of desire. Weston, are you trying to seduce me? And weren't you complaining about me in bed before? I'll take better care of you now, let's see if I can make you satisfied. The word take care was heavy. His hand traced my neck. We'd spent 3 years together in bed. He knew every sensitive spot on my body. One gentle touch could make me tremble. Damn! We were in a crowded bar, and his first love was back, yet he still wanted me. I gritted my teeth, shoved his hand off my waist, and got up with the bottle. Brooks, stay away from me. With your skills, you won't satisfy me even if you tried for hundreds of years. Brooks squinted, amused by my anger. He strode to the sofa like a king, every movement exuding icy authority. Is that so? Then who was saying, husband, you're the best, in bed? Who made you feel so good? Denial after the fact, Weston, you're really something. The bar had cleared without us noticing. It was just the two of us, bodyguards stationed at the doors. The air suddenly went still. Heat rose from my neck to my face. I shouted back, embarrassed. I was acting. Acting, understand? And besides, Brooks, you already have your first love. Before I could finish, his strong hands wrapped around my waist, pulling me into his chest. He held my neck firmly and kissed me hard, shutting me up completely. By the time I came up for air, dazed and short of breath, he finally let go. He stroked my flushed face, looking at my scattered gaze, and smirked coldly. Now who's all wet on my lap, huh? Making my pants wet too. Outrageous. I defended myself. This is normal, any time someone kisses me, this happens. Brooks's expression darkened instantly. His face tensed, sharp and dangerous. Is that so? Weston, you really are something else. Brooks carried me to the hotel. All the way, I tried to struggle. But Brooks was a top-tier alpha, naturally stronger than me, and he had always kept in shape. Not once did I manage to break free from his arms. Instead, he pressed me onto his leg and spanked me hard. Behave, or I'll deal with you later. His voice was cold as ice. I instantly remembered a time when he had gone on a business trip and I sneaked out to have fun. I got carried away, drank too much, and ended up sleeping at a bar overnight. When Brooks found out, he rushed back from the city he was in. That night, when he brought me back to the villa, his voice had been just as cold. Learning to stay out all night now, Weston? Impressive. Stay out tonight, and tomorrow maybe you'll have a side lover. Day after, maybe you'll abandon me. I didn't get out of bed for a whole week after that. Thinking about it now, my butt still aches a little. The scenery outside the car flew by, but my panic eventually faded, and I calmed down. I wasn't wrong. The person Brooks was with before was his first love. And I had made it clear, if he ever betrayed me, our relationship would end. No one's opinion mattered. Still, thinking about betrayal made my chest tighten. I forced myself to blame it on the fact that I wouldn't get good food anymore. That's why I felt sad. The hotel door flew open with a kick from Brooks. He laid me on the big bed and tied my wrists with my tie. Only after confirming I couldn't escape did he squat down and ask patiently, "Why did you run away? Did someone upset you? Give me a reason, and I might forgive you." Shameless. How dare he ask me for a reason? Alphas really are all the same. I sat on the soft bed and curved my lips. Reason? I'm just bored of you. You're a top alpha, so many omegas like you. You wouldn't miss a single beta like me, would you? The room's temperature dropped instantly. Brooks's face darkened, his eyes full of hurt, and the corners were red. His voice was low, barely audible. Yes. I miss you. I froze. My heart raced. But I quickly snapped back. A mocking smile formed. Sweet talk, who doesn't know how to say it? When my mom found out my biological father had a fiancé behind her back, she argued with him. He coaxed her, saying the fiancé was just a business partner and they'd separate eventually. The person he truly loved was my mom. Mom believed him blindly. Only after giving birth to me did she find out he hadn't broken up and had secretly married the fiancé in the upper district. Heartbroken, she returned to the lower district with me. She lived a sad life and, at her last breath, held me tight. Weston, never trust an alpha's words. Stay rational. They sweet talk, but they're all liars. Actually, my claim of being bored with Brooks was a lie. He was handsome, strong, skilled in bed, and attentive. He always made sure I was satisfied first. I had even fantasized about spending my life with him. After all, he treated me incredibly well, the best, aside from my mom. 3 years with him, he always noticed my moods, bought me gifts, and introduced me openly to his friends. Whenever the wealthy looked down on me, he defended me without hesitation. It would be a lie to say I wasn't attracted to him. But I knew they'd never accept him being with a beta like me. So every time I almost liked him, I told myself, don't fall for him. Thankfully, I had kept my cool, so I could now leave calmly. Brooks, don't tell me you miss me, and stop with the sweet talk. Alright, fine. I admit I lied about being bored of you. The real reason I wanted to break up? Your first love came back. I hear he's an excellent Omega. Wish you both happiness. Now Brooks was stunned. He furrowed his handsome brows, full of confusion. What Omega? When was I ever with an Omega? I rolled my eyes. I pulled out the photo Gray had sent me and handed it to him, looking at him like he was a lying alpha. Here, proof. I bit open the tie and tossed it at him, getting up to leave the room. But he grabbed my wrist. He is an Omega, but he's not my first love. He's my half-brother, same mother, different father. Brooks's gaze burned on me. The dark expression vanished, replaced with joy. Are you jealous, Weston? Not happening. Did I look like a gullible beta? I crossed my arms and sneered. You never mentioned a brother before. And now suddenly there's one. Brooks, at least lie better next time. He said nothing, instead sending a few messages to his secretary. Soon, she delivered a DNA test photo. He placed it in front of me, showing he was indeed related to the Omega in the photo. Brooks cleared his throat. My father was a scumbag. He cheated while my mom was in confinement. She divorced and went abroad, remarried later. That Omega is her child from the second marriage. They all cared about reputation, so nobody knew about my dad's affair or my mom's second marriage. He gently smoothed my clenched hand, his dark eyes soft. You believe me now, right? I didn't. I wasn't naive. With Brooks's power and position, faking a DNA test would be easy. But Brooks thought he had explained everything. His long fingers traced my neck, smooth, no marks. He lightly bit me and stared into my eyes. Baby, your first reaction isn't to ask me, it's to run. That makes me sad. I always think of you as my wife. You don't want to be my wife, then whose wife do you want to be? I'll punish you. Don't think you're leaving the bed anytime soon. Only when you carry my child can you go out. He even tried to blindfold me with the tie. But failed. I still didn't trust him. Seeing my doubt, he laughed bitterly. You don't trust me? I nodded. I need real proof. Brooks, remember my mom's story? You wealthy alphas can lie so easily, I won't fall for it. As soon as we landed, the Omega from the photo excitedly waved at me. Hi, sister-in-law. I'm Gail. Seeing him in person, I suddenly realized how much Gail looked like Brooks. Pale skin, the same almond-shaped eyes, but Gail's aura was softer than Brooks's. Brooks drove straight to the city's top DNA testing center to prove his relation to Gail in person. Soon, the expedited results confirmed it, they were real brothers. The document in my hand felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Gail and the doctor had left at some point, leaving just Brooks and me in the room. He wrapped his arms around me from behind, warm breath on my neck, voice soft and a little hurt. "Baby, you believe me now, right? I went to the airport to pick up Gail to introduce him to you, but when I got home, you had run away. And you even said my skills weren't good." Just one more word from him and my body would shiver. Still, I tried to keep my pride. "It's not my fault, I was misled. Everyone said Gail was your first love." Surprisingly, Brooks accepted this quietly, his voice soft. "My mistake. I didn't give you enough security, and you left without even asking me." Weston, he turned my body to face him, his handsome face serious. "From the very beginning, I told you I liked you. Now, I want to confess again. I don't just like you, I love you." I curled my fingers awkwardly. "But we can't stay together forever." "Why not?" I clenched my hand, voice small. My suppressed insecurities finally broke out. "I'm just a beta. Top alphas like you only marry omegas. You'll eventually have an arranged marriage." He scoffed lightly. "And they matter how much? I'm the real ruler now." A few days ago, the old man and my biological father were sent to a care facility. "They'll never interfere in our lives. That's why I never let you meet them before." He pressed his forehead against mine, voice sincere and gentle. "I don't need to marry for power. I'm with you because I want to be. I want to be with you forever. Weston, stay with me, okay?" I nodded heavily and threw myself into his arms. Brooks pretended not to be jealous, but he was. He still remembered me saying he was bad in bed and that I was bored with him. That night, he held me on the bed firmly. "Baby, you can handle everything I give you, right? I've heard betas have reproductive spots too, just deeper inside. We'll take care of it." I could only cry silently. My waist felt like it would break. Sharp fingernails scratched across his toned abs. By dawn, I thought it was over. I tried to get off the bed, but he grabbed my ankle and dragged me back, all the while teasing and making me pay. "You ran for 5 days. I've been saving all this for you. You'll handle it all. My stomach's not full yet. You can take a little more. If I hadn't rushed to the bar the day before yesterday, would you have been with that alpha? Why are you so popular? People liked you then, they like you now. I get jealous." It wasn't until a week later that everything finally ended. Yes, Brooks's heat had erupted. Usually at the end of the month, but my escape triggered it early. During the days I ran, he had been suppressing it with inhibitors. Now that I was back, he couldn't hold it in anymore. I spent 3 full days lying in bed, finally feeling alive again. During those days, Brooks took care of me meticulously, acting gentle and submissive. I could scold or hit him, and he would endure quietly. That noon, to please me and get back into bed, he even prepared 18 dishes I liked. I devoured them. Brooks served me like a little maid, constantly feeding me, handing me water, wiping my mouth. "Baby, eat more. You've been away for 5 days and lost 5 pounds. After the meal, Brooks's secretary came in. Gray came to apologize to Weston. Gray's father brought him. I looked up and saw Gray limping, covered in bruises, following a middle-aged man into the room. The man bowed and apologized to me, holding Gray behind him, also saying sorry. I realized that after Gray had pushed me last time, Brooks had someone deal with him and even told his father, who was angry enough to want to send him to another city. So Gray held a grudge and tried to sabotage me and Brooks. After the private investigator photos were sent to me, he added fuel to the fire. As he wished, I ran away. Now, he hadn't gotten any benefit either. His father, having many children, decided to send him to the lower district for business after he apologized. After reconciling with Brooks, Gray still clung to me and acted touchy. Now, he patted my head. You don't have to forgive if you don't want to. I looked at Gray, full of unwillingness but too scared to speak, and felt elated. This pampered boy would probably suffer in the lower district for a while. I smiled. I forgive you. Brooks's mother returned to the country. Upon meeting me, she warmly said, "You must be Weston. I've heard so much about you from Brooks." I realized we had actually met before. Brooks had mentioned me to his mother for years. His father was reckless, cheated endlessly. The women outside wanted power and naturally wanted to take out Brooks. Brooks had been targeted before, wandering to the lower district. Injured, he was taken in by me after I had just lost my mother. We relied on each other for a long time, until the old man's people came. Brooks had to leave immediately, barely saying goodbye. In the following years, he kept searching for me. When he finally found me, he couldn't wait to confess. But I thought I was just being his pet, his golden bird. He looked at me with resentment. I thought we were dating. But you thought you were following me. Am I that kind of alpha who needs to be followed? No wonder Brooks always complained that so many people liked me. Back then, I had rescued a lot of homeless people like him. Because there were too many, I didn't remember him well. After he left, I thought he had just returned home after recovering. I smiled awkwardly. No wonder your eyes turned red when you saw me. I thought you had a crying problem. He pressed his forehead against mine. I did have a first love, but it's always been you. His mother had prepared a pile of gifts for me, and seeing me smile from ear to ear, she said. Before, Brooks told me he was with you. I didn't believe him, thought he was daydreaming, but I never expected you'd actually say yes to his confession. She told me that she had originally planned to return to the country with Gail that day, but she suddenly got sick, so Gail went ahead first. Her reason for coming back was twofold: first, to see me, and second, to witness Brooks's proposal to me. Brooks had planned to propose. But before the proposal was even ready, I had run off, cursing him and complaining that his skills weren't good enough. After Brooks calmly finished explaining, I shrank my neck and muttered quietly, "Lately you kept making me vegetables and going all out in bed. I thought you were bored with me." He took a deep breath, looking utterly exasperated. "I made vegetables because your checkup said you were low on vitamin C, and you refused to take pills, so I had to make them for you. The second reason is, I listened to advice from that mutual golden bird friend of ours. He said you love meat the most, and if you eat too many vegetables, you'll come to me willingly. It's not like I was rough with you. During the day I was setting up the proposal, got all excited, so at night I liked being a little forceful." I widened my eyes. What advice from a friend? Brooks had given that same golden bird friend $1 million star coins to get tips on how to seduce me. $1 million star coins. I immediately took out my phone and typed furiously to my friend. "You better give me half, or I'll tell your alpha at home. Just wait, you won't be able to get out of bed." The sunset was warm. Spring breeze brushed against Brooks's and my faces. I looked up after sending the message, and my eyes met his smiling face. He took out the ring he had prepared long ago, the exact style I liked, huge and ridiculously expensive. "Weston, I've liked you for a long time. Will you marry me?" Of course, I stretched the word, "I will."